What's up, guys? Today I got Nina with me, and we're gonna look at the wrestling shot and specifically your back foot. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about the differences in the back foot placement, because I know wrestlers, they like to keep it more flat-footed, like pushing off the edge. But I prefer more like on the ball of my foot, and I'll explain later why we like to do that, or why I like to do that. So again, I always want one leg in front, and guys, try to practice both sides and see which side is better. And then you can always try to pull your bad side up, but I think always give preference to your good side, okay? And once I'm here, I always want to be close enough to touch her. And part of that is just managing the distance. Managing the distance. I don't want to be too far, but you can never be too close, okay? And also, when I'm managing the distance and like setting up your takedown, that would be like a feint or push, a pull. So this is the range I want to be in, where I can touch her and kind of open, boom, okay? And we'll talk about that in another video, because that's a whole another topic. But again, today we're going to focus on that back foot, all right, guys? So I've already talked about the penetration step and changing levels, but just to give a little brief overview, I can either start my level change early, like more wrestlers will do, and then do that penetration step between her legs, okay? This way. So again, I'm low, I change my level, and then I do that penetration step, boom, right between her legs. And I've also got another video coming out. Hopefully by now you'll see that whichever side I shoot with, whichever leg I shoot with, I always want to place my same side ear on her hip, okay? And just so you guys understand, I couldn't put if I'm shooting with my right leg, it's going to be very awkward for me to put my left ear down unless I switch my legs, okay? So we're here, I change my level, penetration step, and now I shoot my knee towards the mat, and look how I have my back leg pushing the mat, okay? So I'm driving myself into her. All right, guys? And I'm driving my knee towards the mat, and I'm just shooting as low as I can. Boom. From here, control her legs so she can't sprawl out. Try to sprawl. I'm very strong because I'm under her center of gravity. From here, I bring that back leg up, and now I can turn the corner. I can drive her, boom, 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 all the way down. I don't want to take her down now, but you guys will see that. Let's do it again from a different angle. So I'm here, change my level, penetration step, and I shoot that knee towards the mat, and I'm pushing with that back leg. I can't stress that enough. All my power is coming from that back leg, okay? So I'm here, low, keep the hands out of the way, change your level, penetration step, boom, and I'm pushing, okay? And again, wrestlers like to keep their foot kind of on the side, and that's because usually they're wearing wrestling shoes, and when you do a shot with wrestling shoes, it's completely different than without shoes, guys, because you have so much gripping, you can just drive yourself so much faster. Again, from here, my same side ear as my leg that I used on the floor goes under her hip, back leg comes up, and then I pressure her away with my head, okay? You see how I'm pushing her? And I also like to lift this leg up to make it easier, and then I drive, boom, boom, boom. As I drive, I want to keep her legs behind me, and I walk forward. So say, I go down this time, Nina. You see how I drive her legs past my body? I'm kind of throwing them to the side, and I want to get on her side, okay? That's like a perfect double leg, but sometimes you will end up in like the guard, if you do submission wrestling or jiu-jitsu. So don't worry about it, it happens. So let's see the other leg too. So I'm here, again, I change my level. Sometimes I won't stand more upright. If you have like more of a striking base, it's gonna feel more natural for you to do the penetration step first and then shoot. Okay, it's a little bit slower, but if you're doing like more mixed martial arts, you kind of need more of an upright posture. Versus in wrestling, like if I'm going against Nina, she has a striking background. If we were doing like MMA and I get low like this, what would you do, Nina? Yeah, get knocked out, guys. So if you were doing like more MMA, I would do like more of an upright shot, okay? If you're just doing like grappling or wrestling, submission wrestling, you can bring yourself low like this. It's gonna help you, especially if you're going against someone really tough. So again, I change my level, penetration step, and that back leg is flat, okay? And pushing on the side, like a side kick. Boom. boom, and it's fast. Again, back leg comes up, and I drive to the side. All right, let's have Nina try this one, and then I'm gonna explain the differences in the foot placement, okay? You wanna try, Nina?
Yes.
Which leg are you gonna shoot with?
The right one.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you change your level first.
So, here?
And then you're gonna take a little step forward between my legs. There. Get a little bit lower.
Okay. Here?
Yeah, there. Take a little step, and now shoot. There. And guys, once you go back with your leg, I want this leg extended.
There.
Go back. So when it's behind you, there.
There more.
Okay, one more time. That's it. You got it.
Okay, so low,
Step.
and shoot.
And you want to push more straight with that leg.
Even more.
Yeah.
It should be straighter now.
There, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm really off balance. When you bring your leg up.
Here?
Yeah, now.
And
push me to the side. Yeah. And you see how this arm is really high? A little bit lower, guys, so she can throw my legs almost to the side.
Here.
There, and you go.
And then?
That way, yeah. Oh, and she can pass. Okay?
Okay.
One more time. So again, this back leg, it feels weird.
Yeah.
I never taught it that way, but it is faster. You do it with me?
This leg, yes.
So low,
Low,
step, and push. I'm kind of turning my leg a little bit.
More.
Yeah.
Forward. Okay, so it's like this.
One more time.
Low, step,
There, yeah.
there. But more, like with the back
Yeah, exactly.
straight.
So it's something you gotta practice. I'm still working on it, but give it a try on me again.
Okay. So low, I take a step.
There, yeah.
And then
You feel you're really pushing into me when you drive this leg, guys. When she drives it, oh, she's just blasting into me. All right. So now let's look at the other foot placement. And so this is kind of more of the style I like to utilize because I grapple a lot without shoes on. So sometimes the mat is slippery, guys. So if I go to push off and that leg goes, you know, I might hurt myself. So I always kind of like to have the ball of my foot on the floor. So if you see my other videos, I kind of have the ball of my foot on the floor just so I can kind of move a little bit more, especially if the mat's very slippery. I don't really want to commit my whole foot, you know, especially if there's like sweat on the mat or something. Man, I slip and slide, okay? And also if you do striking, you're always kind of told to keep your back leg kind of more, you should always be on your toes, right? And you kind of want this a little bit more forward facing versus the wrestling shot that wrestlers do. It's more behind. And so in striking, I kind of want that leg ready, you know, to pivot and go and move. And so if you're doing like more mixed martial arts, I think it's going to be a better crossover for you to do this style. So we'll be here. I'll do it on both legs so you guys can see. I'll do the same footwork, but I'm just on the ball of my foot more. Okay. And you can kind of hear I'm kind of sliding, right? You hear that sound? So I don't have wrestling shoes. When you have wrestling shoes, it grips so well. But if you're grappling without shoes on, it's not the same, you know? It's like trying to sprint, like in modern day sprinting, they have those really cool cleats, right? If they don't wear those shoes, they can't go as fast because they're just not going to be able to get the traction. So again, the difference, the wrestlers like to go this way because they have the shoes on. Man, they can grip it so well. But since we don't have the shoes on, I like to turn my foot a little bit more. I can push off and not just slip all over the place. And also, if you're doing any type of striking, it's going to carry over more, right? So I'm going to have you try that one too, Nina, without me first.
like this. Low.
Step, penetration step there, and shoot there. It's almost the same move. The other one is faster, but again, you're not wearing wrestling shoes. Sometimes you slip, and you go. Okay. The same thing. You gotta change your level.
Here?
Step forward. There. Yeah. There. So she's pretty much just kind of lifted her leg. It's the same thing, right? There. Boom. And then I go. Let me do one on you. Here. And I like to push here. When I do that penetration step, I push off my back leg. Okay, and I'm just lifting a little bit. Again, I would do it this way, but I'm sliding a little bit. You guys can hear my foot kind of there. Control the legs, back leg comes up, and I run her to the side. All right, guys, so that's the wrestling shot with the emphasis on your back foot. Again, if you're doing more like striking base, you probably want to be more on the ball of your foot. If you're doing more just pure grappling, wrestling, you can have that foot behind you more flat on the side, like you're doing a side kick. And again, there's different ways to do it. I can do my level change before the penetration step, like wrestlers do it, or I can do it after the penetration step, like more like MMA style. Okay. All right, guys, give it a try. Peace, peace, peace. That's good. I don't want to talk.